So the first poem I'm going to do, y'all thought I was going to start, I'm not ready yet. The first poem I'm going to do, a friend of mine brought me pictures and stories from Malawi, and she said, like, can you write something in response to this? She was doing like HIV/AIDS work in Malawi with a few organizations and NGOs there, and brought back these stories for me. Well, she was just doing the work on her own and brought back these stories and said, can you do something with these? And I was like, oh, we'll see. And this is what came out. All it took were pictures and stories of a Malawian woman to remind me I was African. That somewhere within my erased heritage and language there are smudges of Chichewa. Flipping through photos reminds me I was once a child. Without the awareness and resources to counter the situation I was born into, can you imagine being born into a village where survival is as predictable as coin flips and wishing wells? Well, they would be too optimistic in the picture I look into. While listening to the narrator, she is poised with clandestine confidence, masking the empty home except for a grandmother and older brother. But I saw the slave ships in her shadow, saw manifest destiny in the tools she uses to farm, saw more of me in her countenance than in the mirror this morning, saw my mother in the calluses on her feet, farming peppers in Lewisburg, North Carolina, Leakness, Genu, picks peanuts in Malawi, Africa. In the story I have been hearing, there is a metaphor that the people are the peanuts. Sitting beneath the surface of sympathetic soil, Malawi has a lot of medical consideration, but there are few people telling their stories. Perhaps it is too much to consider them more than patients. However, there is some debate about who is harvesting in the metaphor, whether it is the country or the virus. AIDS. I lost my cousin a year and a half ago in autumn. She never thought she would fall in love, and out of breath, her dreams of the big city and bright lights peaked with a high-rise love affair that now casts a shadow on her flickering life. I remember watching her lie there, too weak to lift her body too fragile to break my silence. I just looked. Couldn't say much of anything, but finally mustered up the courage to tell her, love you, cuz. You know I'll be praying for you. There are children praying in the next picture. I pray that God is listening, that there is not too much sin in their blood for miracles to penetrate. Hope He will not make them pay for their parents' mistakes in T-cells. You don't have to look too closely to see well that there is a motherland beaming from my follicles. My heart drums a djembe rhythm over old Negro spirituals. My skin, a combination of melanin and Malawi pigment and peanuts. It is as African as apartheid and conflict diamonds. I am as American as baseball and Obama, but by the time I learned I was African, I was too black. Too present in hip-hop, gospel, and R&B to notice the origin of their beats. Too busy worshiping Martin to revere Mandela. And too confused to notice that I was one and the same, to notice I'm one and the same. Black skin, the red blood that runs through my veins, a part of a race and gender being harvested beneath the green leaves of a cash crop in a field of dreams. My motherland taught me I'm East and West hemispheres, poured into a melting pot, seared by slavery and a hot and dry heritage that curls into a question mark right around Confederate flags and cotton gins. There are answers in the echoes of pages from a middle passage. Click in photos and stories spoken about Malawi and Chichewa. Click in a Malawian woman's story. Click in an African-American man's story. Click. I am a collage, a collection of frames and images, a threadbare patchwork quilt, tattered and torn, waving in the wind. I hope you see me. The day continues always. Relief and revelation, a moment of revelry, I see you. As much as I can be seen, I remember always the struggle of being present with a connective empathy here and now, the conversational and cultural exchange within all the sound abounding Facebook feeds, Twitter feeds, real news, fake news. I love you. For all the reasons I love myself, I see my future drawn out in the curve of your smile. I am me. CJ, person, being of sound, human, person of color, light, sound, and darkness. I am made up of all the pieces of me that don't seem to fit, an accidental quilt, an intentional mosaic. These pieces fit together. It's up to me to figure the how, the why, the when. I was born Cleveland Darnell Suit II. Not Junior, though my name would say otherwise. My mom has always called me CJ, as in Cleveland Junior. I see you in me. Me in you, I am you. A little older, a little younger. Tú eres mi otro yo, more conservative, more independent, more liberal in the hopes to reset the clock. My mother voted for Trump. I see my life tick-tock. My father did not vote, participate. Does his life, voice, opinion matter? The people who are different from us are not crazy. Let me say that again. The people who are different from us are not crazy. They are our neighbors. They are our friends. They are our family. My mother was born here, Franklin County. My father worked in a sawmill, third world conditions in a first world context. I didn't have running water for the first 5 years of my life. Not so different from a city in India, a village in Haiti. I can be both bridge and border, both flood and drought, both melody and cacophony. I am black, I am American, feeling foreign most days. I am growing, I am learning. We are all 70-ish% water, both solid and liquid, both bridge and the river beneath. What is above and what is below, I contain both heaven and hell. I am black president and radical sociopath, living, learning what lives in the surrender, sweet as it can be, how I might make this global personal, how I might make this thing mine, not to own, but to learn from, move with, and through. I was born and raised in the church. I have since left. I still believe in fellowship, in forgiveness, in connectedness, in joy, both beauty and beast, the sweet release. So why am I saying all this? I say all this because our business must be personal. We must acknowledge it begins with us. The world is not okay right now, and it needs all of our intersections to undertake the great task of healing that lies before us. All of me is here with you. You have my hands and my voice and my heart. We are better together. Let's get to work. Thank you.